Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of my Two Satoshis. It is April 15, 2019. Shout out to my man Mexican Charlie Lee for that song request for today, guys. Last time that I checked, by Nipsey Hussle featuring YG. That's off that Victory Lap album. Again, you know, this is I think the last song request that I had going on for the whole Nipsey week. Of course, many of you know he passed away on March 31st, shot down right in front of his own business establishment. He was doing a lot in the community, so I was doing a whole week of Nipsey requests, and I think this is the last one before we get back to our regular scheduled song pick queue. So again, Mexican Charlie Lee, shout out to you, man. He always has me rolling in the comments, so thanks again, Mexican Charlie Lee, for that song request for today. What's good, people? Hope you guys are doing well today. Got some breaking news just came out. You know, I saw on Twitter over the weekend, and maybe it may have been even last week, where CZ, the CEO of Binance, was really lashing out at Craig Wright about him being a fraud, his coin a fraud, and his project or whatever a fraud. You know, Craig Wright broke off from Bitcoin Cash and Roger Ver to start his own version called BSV, which is Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. I know, it's horrible. Anyway, whether or not it's the real Bitcoin or not, to me this story should show you guys what we are actually doing in the crypto space, which ain't no better than what's going on in mainstream media, and you know how we want to censor people and push them and marginalize them to the side. And this is no different. This is no different. I think you know, a lot of us is like, yeah, this is great. You know, get that fake Bitcoin off of Binance. I think any coin that has a market should be allowed to trade. You know, politics aside, you should not allow feelings to get in the way of what the crypto markets want. And if there's a demand for it, let it be. So let me get to the whole point of this article. Binance has delisted Bitcoin SV. I know there were threats of it by CZ last week, but it looks like they have done it. So we're going to take a look at that article. And then also out of CoinDesk, LedgerX is revealing a bid to beat Bakkt to a physical Bitcoin futures launch. And we're all looking for Bakkt to kind of roll out their platform. Well, it looks like LedgerX might beat them to it. And, you know, hey, may the best man win, in my opinion. So I thought this was an interesting article to take a look at and highlight for you guys. So we'll review both of those articles here shortly. But first, let's take a look at that market cap. We are currently at $175 billion. Bitcoin's dominance is up a little bit today, 51.9%, almost 52% there. So that means we may be seeing a slight pullback. I mean, we have seen a slight pullback, but maybe we'll start to see a pullback in the altcoins. Those markets have been on fire lately. And again, I'm still seeing a channel here for the most part, going across here and going across here. So that's where we are from a market cap perspective. And if we look here, Bitcoin, nothing, just nothing at all. Still below that 5,300 area. That's the key area we need to get above, but nothing really going on here to really cover. So we'll just have to see what happens later today. First article though is about this Binance delisting of Bitcoin SV. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. CEO, which is CZ of Binance, calls Craig Wright a fraud. Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange by reported volume, will delist Bitcoin SV after a week of controversy around the cryptocurrency's creator, Craig Wright. The exchange announced Monday that it would be delisting all BSV trading pairs on April 22nd, just days after Binance CEO CZ threatened to do so if Craig Wright didn't cease attacks on Twitter users claiming the latter is not Satoshi Nakamoto, the pseudonymous creator of Bitcoin. In Binance's announcement, the exchange says we periodically review each digital asset we list to ensure that it continues to meet the high level of standard we expect, citing a number of factors it weighs. These include the commitment of the team to the project, the level and quality of its development activity, its network and smart contract stability, the level of public communication, responsiveness to periodic due diligence requests, evidence of unethical or fraudulent conduct, and its contribution to the crypto ecosystem. However, it is likely that BSV is being delisted, at least in part due to Craig Wright's attacks on Twitter user HODLNOT, who started the Lightning Network Torch, and other individuals. Specifically, Wright placed a bounty on HODLNOT's identity after the latter claimed Wright is not Satoshi. CZ said Binance would delist BSV if Wright continued these attacks. Wright has, for the last several years, claimed to have been the person behind the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto, but his evidence for this claim has been widely disputed. In a series of follow-up tweets, CZ said Craig Wright is a fraud, that the real Satoshi can digitally sign any message to prove it, and that doing so would be simple. Wright has sent legal cease and desist letters to other individuals claiming he is not Satoshi, including Peter McCormack, the host of the What Bitcoin Did podcast. Binance will continue to support BSV withdrawals until July 22nd. So here's my thing about this whole situation, people. Craig Wright, known fact, the guy's a nutcase. We all know that. However, what this shows us and what this illustrates, in my opinion, is that we in the crypto community are just as prone to doing censorship type activities as regular media. At what point do we allow people to have freedom of speech and say what they want to say? Because Craig Wright sending out cease and desist letters is so stupid, it makes no sense. How can you tell a person on social media not to say that you're not Satoshi Nakamoto? All you have to do, as CZ said from Binance, is sign a message from one of the Genesis blocks, wallets, or one of the very early wallets to show that you have ownership over that. Very easy to do. I don't know what the problem is on Craig Wright's side, but at the end of the day, though I don't agree with Craig Wright and I think he's a nut job, you gotta allow people to do what they want to do as far as speech. What are your thoughts, guys? Do you think this is the right move for CZ to do? What kind of image does it paint us in? I think a bad one. I'm just be honest with you. But this is a major blow for BSV because Binance, as the article stated, is the biggest crypto exchange in the game right now. I still think it's a wrong move. It doesn't give the right message to the masses about what crypto and decentralization and freedom of speech, non-censorship type of environments that cryptocurrencies were built around. This doesn't bode well with that whole message. And, we're getting away from it, just flat out. You know what I'm saying? So you guys let me know your thoughts on this move. Was this a good move by CZ? Even though I agree, Craig Wright is a nut job, man. That guy's crazy. There's no way he is Satoshi Nakamoto. I would pick my man Max Keiser as Satoshi Nakamoto before I even think about Craig Wright. And I mean, Max is not, but he embodies the whole message and ethos of a Satoshi Nakamoto way more than Craig Wright does. And shout out to Max Keiser and Brock Pierce. I'm gonna have them on at the same time in the next coming months, man. It's gonna be epic. I'll let you guys know the format is gonna be crazy. So I'm going to have Max and Brock on at the same time on a Kicking It session here in the coming months. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts about that, and we'll have that discussion below. The second article is this LedgerX initiative here. We've got LedgerX revealing a bid to beat Bakkt to physical Bitcoin futures launch. It says the cryptocurrency derivatives provider LedgerX plans to become the first U.S. firm to offer physical settled Bitcoin futures contracts. The company announced Monday that it has filed for a designated contract market license, which would allow LedgerX to offer physical settled Bitcoin futures products to its customers. Unlike the cash settled Bitcoin futures offered by CME Group and previously CBOE, customers would receive the actual Bitcoin underlying the contract after it expires rather than the US dollar equivalent. And I told you guys that CBOE actually shut down their futures market due to low liquidity, I think last month. But this is big in my opinion, and perhaps more notably, LedgerX can target retail investors with its new offering, said Juthika Cho, who serves as both Chief Risk and Operating Officer at LedgerX. She says, "We will be able to serve customers of any size. We won't be restricted to institutional clients," Cho said. Once approved, LedgerX will offer Bitcoin options, and Bitcoin futures to retail customers through a new platform dubbed Omni. Omni, built on LedgerX's existing infrastructure, will act as the provider for both custody and trading services. LedgerX's original platform first received regulatory approval to launch in July of 2017, though the platform itself only went live later that year. The new platform will also utilize LedgerX's existing institutional liquidity pool to offer retail customers a top-tier experience from day one. Launching a retail platform with futures offerings has always been our plan. The company first began offering physical settled derivatives products in 2017, trading 1 million in its first week. She says once the platform had proved stable and we got an operational cadence, we filed for the license with the CFTC. She says for us, this is a philosophically important move because Bitcoin is available to anyone, and we really wanted to make our derivatives products available to all investors as well. It goes on to say here, the company filed for a license to offer futures contracts in November of 2018 and has been engaged in a constructive dialogue with the CFTC. However, she could not comment on a timeline for when the CFTC might approve LedgerX's application or on what type of reception the firm is expecting from customers. The CFTC has already granted LedgerX 2 licenses, allowing the firm to act as a swap execution facility, which is the company's exchange platform, and a derivatives clearing organization, which is the clearinghouse. LedgerX's DCM application is therefore just an additional license on top of existing permissions. Operationally, the company is already set up to provide future services, according to Cho. She continued to say here, we've obviously been live and operational for more than a year and a half, and we have the license from the CFTC that allows us to custody Bitcoin. Since its launch, LedgerX has provided institutions with regulated physically settled Bitcoin swaps and options products and claims some 200 different firms as customers. While CME and CBOE both began offering cash settled Bitcoin futures in December of 2017, no company has launched a physically settled equivalent to date, though that's not for the lack of trying. Several major firms plan to launch physical settled Bitcoin futures contracts, including Bakkt, the firm built by New York Stock Exchange parent International Exchange, checc'd, the crypto exchange backed by Bain Capital Ventures, and IrisX, a startup backed by brokerage TD Ameritrade. However, all of these firms too are awaiting their own regulatory approvals, giving LedgerX a shot at being the first to go live with an actual product. So we'll see what happens with this, people. Again, if you want to talk about manipulation, this is the way that could be done on a large scale. At the same time holding these companies accountable because they would have to settle in Bitcoin. So at the end of these contracts, you've got to be paid in Bitcoin or you got to pay back in actual Bitcoin. So I think it does open us up to more manipulation, again, because you have unlimited amounts of fiat being able to come into these futures contracts, play around with it, move the price, and at the end of the contracts, LedgerX, Bakkt, whoever it may be, will have to balance their order book and either have to go out there in the open market and buy Bitcoin, which will affect the price. So, options expiration dates are really going to cause more volatility in Bitcoin and subsequently other cryptocurrencies as well. There's mixed feelings about this, especially for me. I know that this will cause an influx in liquidity, which is good, but at the same time, we're right back to where we were trying to leave as far as the COMEX and all of that manipulation and how they're able to do what they do over there. That's going to be coming here. So if you're worried about or concerned or care about the price of Bitcoin, then this is going to be a pivotal time in our community. If you don't care about price and you just want to use Bitcoin as a utility, as layer of settlement, then it kind of doesn't matter. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on that. I thought that was interesting to see that LedgerX may beat Bakkt, though there's no timeline. This could still be a year out. And most likely it is. I'm gonna be honest with you. But also I have a question about really where's the demand for trading Bitcoin. It's just there is none. So I'm wondering who they're catering this product to when the demand to trade Bitcoin is just not there at the moment. Maybe they're hoping that it will come back here soon. We'll have to see what happens though. But I'll tell you, again, this is going to definitely open up the price manipulation aspect of Bitcoin. So we'll have to see what happens with this, people. You guys let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. I'll have to say that's pretty much it for today, people. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, of course. And shout out to my man Mexican Charlie Lee for that song request last time that I checked. It's your boy Crypto Blood. That's my 2 Satoshis for April 15th, 2019. I'm out of here, people. Holla!